There we go. Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 3 o'clock news and weather updates. I do apologize, having some battery issues with the microphone. Of course, all of the batteries that I grabbed, all of them dead. Must be Monday. Anyways, let's talk about some of the news stories that we've been following in our newsroom over the past few hours, starting with the murder investigation that is underway at Greene Correctional Institution. The Department of Adult Corrections says Ernest Nichols was discovered in his cell block at around 6:50 a.m. yesterday. Sheriff Matt Sasser says they hope to have an arrest in the murder soon. The 60-year-old Nichols was convicted in 2011 of statutory rape that happened in Mecklenburg County. He was projected to be released from prison in September of 2027. The prison is on a temporary lockdown as authorities investigate the death. And in other news, in Carteret County, an elderly man drowned after his boat capsized in Bogue Inlet. North Carolina Wildlife says the 23-foot Key West boat flipped just before noon, throwing 2 men into the water. The boat's owner, 88-year-old Arthur Furtney, died after his body was recovered by the captain of an excursion boat. The other person on board, Paul Brown, was able to swim to a nearby buoy where he held on until the same boat picked him up. Now, wildlife officers say the boat flipped while it was going through rough waves in the inlet. They said neither man was wearing a life jacket at the time. And now we want to highlight your weather forecast today. It's been a sunny day so far, and while we are looking again at a little bit more cloud cover starting to work its way into eastern North Carolina over the next few days, for the rest of today, still anticipate again mostly sunny conditions. Mostly is the key word there. It is not going to be completely sunny, but again, most of us are looking at fairly clear skies. Further back towards the west, though, you can clearly see we've got that line of clouds sitting back towards Wisconsin, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. That is our next frontal boundary that will be here coming up really late Wednesday into Thursday morning. For now, doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any sort of severe weather with this system. Some rumbles of thunder, perhaps, and certainly some rain showers, but nothing truly out of the ordinary for this time of year. Right now, again, just it's like a few clouds out there, but as far as rain clouds go, we're keeping an eye on just a few small little clouds moving over down East Carteret County that could potentially produce maybe a stray drop or two. Certainly not going to be a lot if you see any at all, but rain showers today, not really all that likely. But again, radar picture is showing some spots of green around down East Carteret County, and yeah, we're at least want to mention those. But this is what it looks like in New Bern, 82 degrees along the Neuse River. Southeasterly winds at about 11 miles an hour. Overall, a very comfortable day. Certainly sunny out there. Winds out of the northeast across the northern Outer Banks, but have been more easterly for the rest of eastern North Carolina, and that's allowed air temperatures to rise into the low to mid 80s throughout many inland locations. For those of you watching closer to the water, it's been kind of a mixed bag. Some of us have seen the mid to upper 70s. Others have already made it into the low to mid 80s. Winds tomorrow may be a touch stronger, but winds are going to be shifting here over the next few days. Right now, more of an easterly breeze coming in at around 6 to 12 miles an hour. Isn't affecting your humidity too much, but over, again, the tail end of Wednesday through Thursday, and then potentially even lingering into Saturday and Sunday, we are going to be tracking rain showers. So the more humidity we have in eastern North Carolina, the more likely it is that we'll see heavier rain when it comes and more widespread rain as that front arrives. Here's a look at how it's all going to come together. Again, those two systems kind of merging there over looks like the Ohio River Valley, and then from there that whole system slowly works its way eastward. Now, slowly is very important for us. The slower that system moves, the less likely severe storms will be along that frontal boundary. Now, we're anticipating thunderstorms, yes, but if that front moves in at a fast rate, that would increase the lift associated with that front, and that would increase the strength of the resulting thunderstorms riding along that boundary. Now, the other problem is not just, of course, the speed, But where that system is going, it's going to stall near the coast, and that could bring about an area of low pressure that we may need to talk about coming up later on. We'll get to that coming up in just a few moments, because we do need to talk about it. It's going to be impacting your upcoming weekend. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we've got in the tropics. Here's an area of concern right now just off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, going to be moving its way over the Yucatan Peninsula back into the Gulf, where it has a low chance of tropical development. This one, not all that concerning, even though it is a little bit closer to the U.S. This is the system that we are really keeping a close eye on. Not because just it's looking like there's a pretty good chance it could be our next named system, but more so it is back again, kind of moving over that same track that Umberto did, and potentially even maybe picking up on kind of that last part of the track that Imelda had, that created some very rough conditions along our coast and even took some homes off of the Outer Banks. That could again be a reality that we're going to be tracking with this system if it does come together, which National Hurricane Center is indicating there's a pretty high chance it will come together. 70% chance over the next 48 hours. That goes up to an 80% chance over the next 7 days. But speaking of the next 7 days, our attention takes us to the upcoming weekend, Saturday and Sunday, when Mumfest is going to be happening. Now, again, we talked about the cold front coming in on Wednesday evening. I want to highlight the fact that that front is going to stall just to the south of Cape Fear. As that happens, an area of low pressure is going to try to form along that frontal boundary and then bring up additional rain and wind to eastern North Carolina for both Saturday and Sunday. Yes, that does unfortunately coincide with Mumfest. So this is a forecast we're going to be paying extra close attention to. If you've got, again, weekend plans, this is a weekend that it's not looking all that great for outdoor activities, simply just from a wind perspective. But then even then, it's going to be wet as well. This is wet and windy weather we're going to see Saturday and Sunday, and then things should calm back down again briefly on Monday before we get another round of rain into the east the following Tuesday. That's all we have time for today's 3 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a wonderful Monday. We'll see you back here coming up at 4 o'clock.